Hey guys, Neeley here. I was just sitting here in the Classic Metal Show studio checking out the website of our latest sponsor, Rock Gear. That's right, if you're a rock fan and you like to wear rock and roll memorabilia, Rock Gear is the place to go. They have a whole line of great merchandise over there that I think that anyone who is a fan of rock would appreciate. They have t-shirts of all your favorite bands, and every product in the store is officially licensed, so while you're shopping for your favorite band t-shirts online, you're supporting the bands. How great is that? And Rock Gear is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you're unhappy with any order, for any reason, you just got to contact them. They'll send you a replacement or refund your order. All you have to do is send an email to support@rockgear.store. And not only that, they offer free shipping on all orders in the U.S. over $35. Now, there's a value in itself. And speaking of value, Rock Gear is offering Classic Metal Show fans a 10% discount on your order if you use promo code ClassicMetal. Now, that's badass. So go over there to rockgear.store and make your order today.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from a band that had a lot of promise, but didn't quite go anywhere. I'm talking about the band Salty Dog, which features our good friend Michael Hannon, who went on to form American Dog. And then we just heard Alda Nova right there with Monkey on Your Back, and a guy who won't tolerate any monkeys on his back is my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
What is up, sir? How are we?
It's time to do this thing all over again.
I know. I'm trying to get supercharged here with my Zach Wild Valhalla coffee, trying to get some juice going. I am fucking dead today.
Well, I know. You were texting me at 2 o'clock in the morning, your time, this morning.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I happened to be awake. I was watching some documentaries, and right. I heard my phone go off at 1, and I'm thinking, who the fuck is that? And I'm thinking, okay, it must be Don.
Right.
Because Don texts me because he's a night owl, and he'll send me a text at 5 in the morning.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, okay, what's up? And it's you. And I'm thinking, what are you doing up at 2 in the morning?
Drunk as fuck and just getting home.
Yeah, apparently. So, well, getting back to Salty Dog. We've told this story on the show before, but I met the guys in Salty Dog on their very first tour. It was actually the very first show of their very first tour.
Cool.
Opening up for Robin Trower, of all people.
Right.
And I didn't know it at the time, but then 20 some odd years later, when Michael Hannon, how did you get a hold of Michael Hannon? How did that come about? Because I remember when I was doing the show, and I just moved to internet only back in, I think it was 03, you approached me and said, hey, I got a hold of this guy, or he got a hold of me, and he was in the band Salty Dog, and he's got a band called American Dog. How did that come to be?
Jeez. I'm going to guess, because I don't remember for sure. But I think he had sent his record, whatever record he had at the time, whatever the first thing was, to like Stickman or something, one of our affiliates.
Okay.
And Stickman hit me up and said, hey, would you guys be interested in talking to this guy? He lives near you.
Right. They live in Columbus.
Yeah. And I was like, sure. And then when I found out that he was in Salty Dog, which I loved, I still think Cat's Got Nine and Come Along, those are great songs. But I was just like, sure, whatever. And then we just got to talking and became friends. And, he became a very frequent guest on the CMS. And I think they did a takeover, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, they did a takeover show with the CMS and everything. So, we just struck up a friendship that lasted, until this day. I mean, he did a show with me, a year or two ago?
Yeah, with Randy and you, and who else was Omam was there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun time. Boy, we drank a lot of beer that night.
Yeah. So, it was just kind of weird that, things came around full circle. And then American Dog had come out and played for us.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Bleacher, the former singer of Salty Dog, who lives over in the Youngstown, Ohio area, he made the trip over.
He did. Yeah.
And they played one or two Salty Dog tunes. So that was kind of cool.
Sure.
And then, go ahead.
We have quite the little history with that band.
Yeah. So, you never know how things happen, but when I related to Michael, when I got to know him about their first show on their tour, and I told him about the club that I was working at and things, and he remembered that. Of course, that was his first real tour with Salty Dog, and
sure.
And then we got to talking, and we knew some mutual people, and it was just it was kind of funny how that all came together like that. And then we heard some Aldo Nova there. We heard some Monkey on Your Back, and you got a coveted interview this week. Somebody that in the 23-year history of the CMS, we had never been able to get on the show before.
Total bucket list thing for me, man. I know for a lot of people, Aldo Nova doesn't mean dick. For me, that's about as big as Black Sabbath for me, because I have, especially the first two records, I still play them at least once a month.
Okay.
I mean, that was, you know how this is, dude. It's hard to explain it to, everybody that's listening that doesn't interview, bands or whatever. But we all have our little list of people that we really want to talk to.
Right, absolutely.
And it's not, and usually, especially this far down the road, it's not big names anymore. Like me personally, I don't think other than I would love to interview Elton John. But other than that, I don't think I have any really big names left of any genre that I would want to interview now. But Aldo Nova was one that had escaped me for all these years because he really hasn't been active, and it was I get this email this week and was like, hey, do you want to interview Aldo Nova? I could not fucking write anytime, whatever. I'll change schedules, whatever. I'll do it.
Right.
And it went off, and it went very well, I think. He thought so. He messaged me, I guess this morning and said, that he really had a good time with the interview. So,
well, that's good. I mean, from a musical standpoint, as far as interviews go, I met the guy once, but I wouldn't mind interviewing him as a music artist. Would be John Mellencamp.
Sure.
As far as musical artists go, I don't think there's really any that I want to. But as far as just general interviews go, one that I'm kind of excited about that we may really have a shot at doing is Robbie Knievel.
Sure.
We may get a shot at that after the first of the year. And then another one that you've been kind of networking with, somebody you were hanging out with last night. Of course, Anthony Cumia, formerly of Opie and Anthony, which... obviously is a very big influence on both you and I as far as where this show goes or where we take some of our cues from. And I won't hide that fact. I mean, I know that what you and I do, people seem to appreciate and they like our chemistry. But a lot of my inspiration definitely comes from Opie and Anthony and obviously an early Howard Stern stuff.
Sure. Same here. I mean, I proudly wear the O&A influence. I try not, believe me, a lot of times I get nervous because I watch Cumia all the time. I listen to, even at night when I go to sleep, a lot of times if I don't want to watch TV or have TV on to fall asleep to, I'll just put YouTube on with O&A clips and just let O&A play all night long. It's a huge influence on me. My biggest worry is I always worry that somehow I'd be stealing from it.
Yeah, you don't want to cop their shtick or whatever it is that they did. But I think you and I have been doing this long enough to where we both have our own personality, and without feeling that we have to steal somebody's way that they do things. But obviously Anthony, the more successful of the two, because what is Opie doing, a podcast now?
Yeah, he's got his podcast, which has actually been quite good. The last 3 podcasts have actually been good. He's actually picked it up a little bit.
Is that right? You know what, boy, I tell you what, I follow Opie on Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't really spend much time on that, but I see his Twitter stuff, and sometimes I'll check it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I can understand why people dislike that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
No, it's not that he's a dick. He's kind of a pussy. you know, he tries to walk the line between being politically incorrect but trying to be edgy at the same time.
Right.
And it doesn't work. You got to either be one or the other.
Yeah, commit to whatever it is.
Yeah, you can't be safe edgy.
Yeah, no.
And that's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was never the talent. He was
well, I agree with you there, but
you know, I mean, the other two were the talent, and he was, and I'll give him full credit. He definitely ruddered that ship in a way that even Anthony's show now could use. You know, his show now could use a little bit of that direction, you know, instead of rambling a little bit sometimes. But yeah, I mean, he is what he is. I just know that the last three, he did a 2-parter with Stuttering John and Jackie Martling, and those were very, very good. And then he did, you probably wouldn't like this one, but then he did an hour and a half with Shane McMahon from WWE.
Okay.
And that was really solid too. A lot of behind the scenes stories and stuff like that going on. So good stuff. I mean, it's okay. I miss the old days. I certainly miss the old days. I mean, there's 3 shows out of the old days, and I love the Kumia show personally, but not as much as O&A. And you know, Jim and Sam I can't listen to. It's just boring.
I agree with that. Well, speaking of Jim, that's another one on the bucket list to get on the show at some point. Just to...
It's amazing that we haven't been able to get him because he likes us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is in the past, I've traded several emails back and forth with him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, whenever, man, whatever you want to do, whatever. And then every time I try to nail him down for something, it was just never here again.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this, going back to Anthony possibly coming on the show, I'm pretty sure after last night that's probably going to happen.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
I had a very, very nice conversation with Dave Landau, the co-host of the Anthony Cumia show last night. And, dude, he could not have been happier with us for giving him an avenue to talk about his own thing and not necessarily only talk about Anthony and the Cumia show, but, spread his word. And the fact that I came out and brought people with me to the show and whatnot last night. And, he was very happy. Dude, he gave, I had to force him to take money. At the end, we waited till everybody left, and, he was selling, he has a movie out called The King, and I wanted a copy of the DVD. So, I walked up to him and I told him who I was, and he was like, oh my God, dude, thanks so much for coming out. And, thanks so much for the interview. And, was really cool of you to give me that much time. And it wasn't, the 5-minute shit that I always do on radio and, all that stuff. And then I was like, yeah, man, well, I want to get one of these King DVDs. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, well, how much are they? And I pulled out a 20. He's like, no, dude, just take one. I was like, dude, come on. I'm supporting the cause here. He's like, just take it. So then Kelly wanted one. So I was like, well, I'm not taking 2, because he was going to give her one too. I was like, I'm not taking 2. I was like, here's $20, whatever, and he was like, okay. But he just could not have been nicer. And God damn it, was he funny, dude.
Now, how was the turnout?
That room is tiny. And I think all the tables were filled. We were at the early show. There was 2 shows that night. There was a 7:30 and a 10. And we were at the 7:30. And I think all the tables were filled, which I still don't, I can't imagine it was even 100 people. Yeah, I mean, it was a small, I had never been there before. And I would say, my party center at the Pinball Palace?
Yeah, the back part of the Pinball Palace, yeah.
I would say it's about that big.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bigger, but not much. And I mean, all the seats were filled. And I know when it got to be, because we ended up leaving there about 9:30, which is when they wanted everybody out to so that they could let the second show people come in. And there was a line out the door for the second show. So I'm assuming he sold out both of those, and probably tonight too. Probably just better tonight, I would think.
Sure.
But good crowd. And I'm telling you, we were laughing so fucking hard. It was me, Kelly, John, and Stephanie, and all four of us were just fucking dying, man. He was fucking funny. And the kind of funny me and you like, just politically incorrect.
Yeah, just biting humor.
Just don't give a fuck. I mean, he was telling this joke, this story, I guess, about when his kid was born and how the doctors kept saying not to shake the baby.
Yeah.
I was fucking crying, laughing. And I guess maybe it's because I could relate to it or something. But he's like, yeah, on that third night when we hadn't had any sleep, it's like, what about just a little bit, like a rattle shake? I was just fucking crying, laughing, man. He was really, really good, man. So I would definitely suggest to anybody, if you see his name at a comedy club, which he does, he plays all over the country every weekend. So, Dave Landau, he is fucking hysterical.
Excellent. And, it was a pretty big week for you. Not only did you get to go hang out with Dave, but you made the press circuit for the underground adult entertainment world.
Yeah, I'm quite the star in the porn industry.
Yeah, you're a peripheral porn star.
I am.
You made a lot of waves this week in all the publications that's in the porn industry this week.
Yes. Dude, that was like the greatest email ever because I didn't even see it. You texted me and you were like, look at you texted me something like you're a star in the porn world. And I was like, what are you even fucking talking about? And you were like, check your email. And I checked the email and there was 8 or 10 links to like every porn news website.
Yeah.
With my interview. And I was just like, fucking A, look at that. Look at me go.
Yeah. Well, again, we got to always thank our good friends, Bob Nalbandian.
Sure.
Who always, Bob is an amazing guy. One of the most humble people I've ever met. I've hung out with Bob at least a half a dozen times over the years.
Sure.
Obviously, he's been on the show. He's co-hosted with us and things. And the guy is busy. He's busy. He put together all these Inside Metal DVDs and did a lot of this interview stuff. And he travels and he relocates, for months at a time.
Right.
Basically lives out of a suitcase. And he attends all kinds of shows. And, the guy is on the go.
Sure.
This is a guy, much like myself, even though I have a steady job. I mean, Bob is busy. Never married, don't have any kids. Doesn't get tied down, but he goes out there and follows his passion.
Sure.
And he obviously includes his friends and people he's associated with in his work and gives us full credit. They released the official trailer this week for the Band versus Brand.
Right.
And of course, the what is the porn thing called?
Underbelly.
That's out. He sent us copies of that.
Yep.
He included you and, with obviously the interviewing and all that kind of stuff. So Bob is very gracious in allowing us to drag on his coattails a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm actually dragging Bob back on my coattails because he and I are doing we're doing a turbo discussion on Tuesday for that's going to be an unannounced, or I guess now it's announced, but a formerly unannounced add-on to the audio book of the turbo book. So I'm paying back, I guess, because Bob always takes care of us. So we're going to do that this week.
And I'm working on getting you hooked up with Don so he can give his viewpoint on the whole turbo tour and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, how weird is it that, our friend Don just happens to be the guy that was the opening band for the Fuel for Life tour, which was the Turbo tour, and I'm writing a book on Turbo.
Right, there you go.
Just small world we live in these days.
Then I was asked today if I would like to write the foreword of a forthcoming Dokken book.
Nice, you gonna do it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool.
Yeah, of course. I might ask for your assistance, but it's something that I was asked to do today.
Okay.
So, so that's all happening. So here we are late in life.
Yeah.
Cashing in.
Yeah, having fun doing it, man.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I was saying yesterday and today, man, I am in like the fucking best place I have been in forever. Everything's going right. Business is going pretty good. My personal life is going pretty good. I'm having fun finally. The show is off the rails good. Books are selling well. It's like, fuck, everything's falling into place.
Sure.
When is somebody else going to fucking get in a car accident and get their head cut off or something to bring me back to normal?
Right. Exactly.
Something's bound to happen any minute now.
Yeah. Well, things have been clicking along pretty good for me as well. And, I've been working at the same gig here for 4 years now.
Right.
And I've got 3 weeks of vacation, of which I've taken like 2 days worth.
Nice.
2 days worth. And, things are clicking along pretty good to where it was almost like a major decision to say, hey, you know what? I think next week I'm going to take a day off.
1 day.
Yeah, 1 day.
That's funny.
I mean, isn't that pathetic, though? You're just so dedicated to what you do that you can't even fathom taking a day off.
No. Well, dude, I'm the same way. I mean, dude, when's the last time you ever remember me taking a day off? I never do.
Yeah, I never get sick, so I don't take sick days.
Right.
I don't have any reason. The only time that I've taken off, work, during the week is I went out to Las Vegas way back in April. And, other than that, I haven't done anything.
Right.
I mean, everything I do, I schedule around the weekend.
Right.
So I don't have to take time. But I got 3 weeks worth of vacation coming to me that I have to do before the end of the year or just get paid for it. So I'm not gonna take 3 weeks between now and December 31st.
Why don't you take that fucking Christmas and and New Year's week off?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But but that's how it is. It's just like, oh man, I can't walk away for more than a day.
Dude, this is probably going to stun you, but I already told my son this, and this is the way it's going to be. For the first time since I've been self-employed, I'm taking off the entire month of December. I'm just not. I'm going to do the only things I'm going to do are the couple of things that I have to do, every week things. But literally, that's probably 10 hours worth of work for the entire month. And I'm just taking the whole month off and I'm going to finish the fucking Korea book. That's my goal.
Well, there you go.
Because I haven't taken time off in forever. I know I told you this, but I've been hoarding money for most of this year so that I could have, X amount of money to pay all my bills for December and January. And I hit my number. So I'm like, okay, now I got enough money to do, as long as I don't go blow it at the bar like I did last night, I should be I should be okay to take off this time. So I'm planning fully to just take off December, finish the Korea book, get that fucker out by like April or May, and but enjoy some time off and just fucking sit in bed and I don't know, watch The Man in the High Castle or something.
Yeah. Somehow I just don't think you're going to do that.
Dude, I'm tired.
I could see you doing a week.
Yeah, I might get bored.
Yeah, but after a week, I could see you start getting antsy.
Well, it is the holidays, though. I mean, it's not like I'll be able to find new business to do.
True.
I mean, dude, my phone does not ring in December. A lot of times what I try to do is get a whole lot of jobs lined up in November so that I can work through December.
Right.
That's what I try to do. But this year I've got enough. I should be done with all of the jobs that I have going right now. I have about 8 things working right now. I should be done with all of them by November 1st or December 1st. And that's it, man. I'm just going to wait. I really really need a break, man. It's just been too many 20-hour days. I mean, and for better, for worse, I worked all the way through even when Mike had the cancer thing. I never stopped working. So I was doing my 2 businesses plus the show plus dealing with, the day-to-day of him going through cancer treatment for a year. And then I never took a break other than I just did less business because I wasn't as focused. So this year has all been catching up on that, finding new business and growing especially Aiken IT back again. So now that that's all done, it's just time, man. I'm fucking old, man. I turn 50 next fucking Saturday. If I make it to next Saturday, I make it to 50. It's like, man, I got to take some break somewhere.
Yeah.
You're probably right, though. I'll probably about a weekend, I'll be like, dude, here's what we need to do with the show.
Right, exactly.
I'll be calling David Ortiz, and I'll be like, dude, here's how we're going to redo the marketing plan.
Right, exactly. So
I have this new 700-point plan that we're going to do.
Well, that's the same way with me. I mean, if I have a 3-day weekend, 3-day, say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, by Tuesday, I was just like, what am I going to do with myself?
Yeah. Sitting in bed watching TV is boring.
Well, Saturday, lately anyway, with it, say just the last month, I've been kind of slacking on a Saturday. I've been just like you just said, sitting in bed watching the TV. In fact, I just bought the new Roku Ultra today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How is it?
Well, I haven't gotten it yet. I just ordered it through Amazon.
Okay.
So I'll have it on Tuesday.
Nice.
But, it talks about all these great features, and it, upscales your picture and all this other stuff, and the last one I bought was the Roku 4.
Okay.
Which is great and stuff. But, I do have a big screen TV in my bedroom, and, that is that's my sanctuary, my king size waterbed and my big TV and my Bose sound system in there. And, so that's where I kind of hang. So I go, I could spend $99 on a brand new Roku.
Sure.
Which is what I did. And it's just like, I could spend a day in bed just watching movies and streaming some YouTube and this and that. But after a day or two of that, then I'm just like, oh man, I got to get out.
Yeah, that's it. You get bored. It's like, I'll be honest. I don't know if I was hungover or just overly tired from yesterday, probably a little of both. So I didn't get up until 8:00 today. I mean, I did not get out of bed until 8:00 tonight. I just sat around. I watched and this will show you how bored I am with TV. I watched 2 full seasons, I think, of Taxi. Remember that show?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched that.
From the 70s, or what was it, 1972
I thought that Mary Lou Henner chick was pretty hot.
Oh, boy. Don't think there wasn't a little spanking going on mid-season.
Yeah,
there.
she was hot. She had something going on with her.
Yeah, she was hot, but she didn't have big tits.
No, she wasn't like a knockdown gorgeous chick, but she just had something about her. She just was very hot.
Yeah, regular girl 8.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, she definitely was definitely spot. And she was probably about 22 in that show.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I had a thing for her.
Yeah, and dude, a lot of famous actors came out of that show. Jesus Christ, Tony Danza and what was his what's the Hey Now guy?
Hey Now.
Yeah, what's his name? Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah. He was on the what is Gary? Was it Gary Sanders
Gary
show?
Shandling show.
Yeah, and of course he was in Hangover as the dad.
Yeah, he was on that show. Tony Danza was on that show. Danny
DeVito.
Doc Brown from the Back to the Future movies.
Yep.
He was on that show.
Obviously, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, who was fucking hysterical on that show.
Latka
Gravis.
Right.
Yeah, just a lot of big names, and even the bit guys that would just be on the show for a minute or a stop through. They had Norm from Cheers popped in on one episode, and
that
Martin
guy who played Kanicki on Grease.
Yeah, what's his, Jeff Conway?
Yeah, he died.
Did he die?
Oh yeah, he had a drug. He couldn't kick his drug habit.
Is that what happened to him?
Yeah.
Well, that's sad. Not really. But yeah, Martin Short was in an episode. It's just a lot of famous people passed through that. They're people that became famous passed through there. The dude well, I don't know his name, and it's surprising that I don't know his name, but the guy from Godfather 3, I guess, or 2 and 3, but for sure 3, that was like, he's making me wait in line. You know who I'm talking about?
I do, but I can't think of his name.
I don't know his name, but he was on an episode. He was Tony Danza's boxing trainer, in one episode. Just a lot of names came through that show. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But dude, I love that with Do you do that with TV? Watch these shows down and go like, oh yeah, I remember this guy from that show.
Yeah, because when I watched those shows, I was just a kid, very young person. And, until, again, it's the whole hindsight 2020 thing. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
it's like, I recognize that guy, or they became so-and-so, or, this was a very bit part for them. And then they blew up as an actor or in their fame or their notoriety.
Sure.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, dude, like a couple weeks ago, I was watching The Shield through once again for the 9 millionth time. And it's like, do you realize, and I may have already said this on the show, I don't even know, but every major character on The Shield, every major person on The Shield was also in Sons of Anarchy.
Nice.
Every single one of them. All 4 of Vic's team were on Sons. Claudette was on Sons. Dutch was on Sons. David Aceveda was on Sons. The mayor from Sons was a rapist on The Shield. The guy from the carnival that raped Oswald's daughter on The Shield or on Sons, he was also a rapist on The Shield.
Yeah, he was stereotyped. I'm a rapist.
I guess that's what you get when you grow your hair all stupid and grow one of those big, stupid, overly bushy mustaches.
Right.
Just look like a rapist. But yeah, it's crazy how Kurt Sutter was in both. Every character from The Shield, every major character was on both shows. Alvarez was on both shows. Isn't it just ridiculous?
Well, again, Kurt Sutter, just kind of drew from the pool of the people that obviously he was familiar with.
Yeah, he clearly kept phone numbers.
Yeah, and he kept, he understood what the character was capable of doing or how they were able to portray themselves, and thought, I wrote this part for this person here, and it's just like, yeah, that guy would probably fit perfect in that.
Yeah, and he really does do that. Even now with Mayans, the guy that plays Galindo, the main character Galindo, he was the guy that in The Shield that Vic held his face to the fucking stove and burned his face. Same guy. So he works, he's doing that in Mayans as well. And some of the guys in Mayans were in all 3 shows. Like Gemma was in all 3 shows.
Right.
And Alvarez was in all 3 shows. And Lincoln Potter now from Sons is now in Mayans. And it's weird how that guy just has such a small, like he's working everybody in. It's not going to surprise me much if we see, at some point we're going to probably see like Chibs or Tig or something in that show, because are you watching Mayans? Or
I have not started that. No.
Well, they had a thing. It's based 4 years in the future after Jax died.
Okay.
And you remember how they were trying to get out of guns in Sons?
Right.
And that was Jax felt like they were out of guns, so he could kill himself, was kind of the end thought, right? Well, this week they had the chapter, the Sons chapter that our good buddy Sean McNabb is in, delivering guns to the Mayans. So that opened the door of, okay, well, the Sons are still in guns, is Sam Crow still somehow involved? And now Lincoln Potter involved, investigating the Mayans, makes you think maybe we're going to start seeing some of these Sons of Anarchy people, as a tie-in.
Right.
So should be interesting where it's going. I'm loving the Mayans personally. I think it's pretty cool.
Excellent. Nope, I haven't started it yet, but that is on the bucket list. I am looking forward to Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, season 3,
which is going to be in about 10 days or something.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to House of Cards or no?
You know what? I haven't really watched House of Cards. I think I watched part of the first season and then I never watched it again.
That's one I'm genuinely curious on. I don't know how they're going to do that show without what's his name?
Stacy.
Kevin Spacey, the rich guy. You know, and I'll be honest, I did watch the Roseanne episode. Yeah, that show. They won't cancel it, but it'll just kind of not be renewed for the second season.
They just got to work out their contract and be done with it.
What a fucking hollow feel that was.
Yeah, a whole entire show ruined because of one tweet.
Mm-hmm. It just sucks.
This is the world we live in. We tweet now. We tweet, 140 characters, and it'll ruin an entire career, ruin an entire television series, and everything go to shit just because of 140 characters.
There's actually a rumor, and I don't know how real this rumor is, but I read it in a few places that the Tim Allen show might sign Roseanne to be the neighbor.
Very good.
That would be awesome. If they did that just as a fuck you to ABC, that would be fucking hysterical.
Yep. Nice.
And they could even call her Roseanne because that's her real name.
Yeah.
They could just say they named her after her real name.
Right. Does she have to copyright her own name?
I'm sure she has copyrighted her own name.
I'm sure she has.
Because she's obviously done stand-up and everything, after she was popular.
Right.
I'm sure she owns the rights to her own name.
Right.
That would be the best if they did. But I read that in a few places that there's I don't know if it's rumors or talks or what, but boy, that would be fucking awesome. That would make me watch that show. I don't watch that show at all, but I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but I don't know. It is what it is. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor without the tools.
Right.
It's the same fucking show, just not as good.
Yeah. I just don't watch a lot of series television. There's just a very, very few handful of things that I watch. Like this week, one series that I got turned on to last year, Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
That got, the new season is out this week and I haven't watched it yet.
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to watching that, but I haven't even started that yet. And then another one that's kind of funny with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell is The Good Place.
Have not seen that at all.
That one's actually kind of funny, and I only got into like 3 episodes of that so far.
I still watch a little bit of network stuff, but not a ton. I got to have a reason to watch it now. Like I might watch Modern Family here and there because I like to look at Ariel Winter's big old fucking titties.
And she's got some big old boobies.
She's got some big fucking tits. But you know what? Her Instagram is more interesting than the show because at least on the Instagram, she's always in a fucking bikini showing off her tits and her ass and shit. I love that girl. She's a young girl that just loves to she loves knowing that dudes are jerking off to her.
Yeah.
And so I'll follow her Instagram a lot more than the show. But every once in a while, I'll watch that show.
Right.
I've kind of stopped on Law and Order just because it got dull. It got dull and it got very fucking left-leaning all of a sudden the last, 2 seasons. Now that they let Mariska Hargitay actually be the producer, now every single fucking episode is, there was a transgender that was beaten.
Yeah.
We have to have a big speech about bullying. It's like, ugh, enough. I can get that from my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I don't need it from TV. Instead, I'll go watch fucking whatever, House of Cards or Power or whatever shows I'm watching that are uncensored on whichever platform. You know what I finally finished this week, though?
What's that?
And I know you finished it, too. The Playboy thing. American Playboy, the Hugh Hefner story.
Yeah.
I finally got to the end of that. Dude, I didn't realize how much bullshit Hugh Hefner went through. I guess I never put all the pieces together of it. The whole Star 80 thing and the various arrests and his assistant that committed suicide because she got set up in the drug sting and everything.
Yep.
I didn't realize he had been through so much shit. Wow. What a mess. I mean, I appreciate what he did. Believe me, as a porn connoisseur, I definitely appreciate Hugh Hefner.
Well, our good friend Nader was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he talked about the upcoming Larry Flint thing. And there's a guy who took a bullet.
Yeah.
So, that his story alone is going to be pretty interesting, I would think.
I would think so. Yeah. Just crazy thinking back to there was a time not in our lifetimes.
In recent history, yeah.
When if you showed a picture of a tit, you could go to jail. Isn't that crazy?
Well, indecency laws.
And now look at our fucking chat room, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I know.
Our chat room would put us in fucking prison for the rest of our lives back in the fucking 60s.
Right. Well, it was a different time in America. It was mom and dad and the kids and, working a job and, just good, clean American living. And the seedy side of America was was frowned upon.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to talk to like somebody that is like, in their 70s or 80s and know if they had like a little box with 8mm film.
Well, that's kind of funny because I don't know if you watched the series Happy Days. I'm sure you did.
The TV show?
The TV show.
Sure, yeah.
Well, even on the TV show, they were exploring this 8mm film.
Okay.
They were sneaking around and they found this. Yeah, I don't know if like Richie's dad had it or Potsy's dad or somebody, but they were able to uncover this little 8mm film and they were watching this, this underground porn.
Right.
Even on that show.
Right.
Just talking about the taboo nature of it, It was all hush hush, or I think Richie went to some adult poker game and they had some like cards that had like pinup chicks on the back.
Right. Dude, it's come a long way though, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Now you get pervs like me that got an iPad on their bed, spent $900 on an iPad for the sole purpose of watching porn.
Right. Well, it's funny you brought that up because I was watching, as much as CNN as an organization is a very corrupt organization as far as actually reporting news. They do a really good job on producing documentaries.
Okay.
And they have a whole series of documentaries on there that's they cover the whole decade of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s.
Yeah.
I was watching the 90s documentary. Mm-hmm. And speaking of porn and the development of the internet, porn is chiefly responsible for online shopping.
Porn?
Yeah, because they were the first ones to develop a way of paying for a service online with your credit card.
Sure.
They're the ones who were the forerunners of paying online. Mm-hmm. I mean, even though Jeff Bezos of Amazon started Amazon back in the 90s with just selling books, because of porn running so rampant and all these pay-per-view sites, porn is chiefly responsible for developing a secure way of paying for stuff online.
Jeff Bezos probably just got busted by his wife looking at porn and just said he was doing research.
Right.
Really, honey? I'm not just buying porn. I'm studying for this business I'm going to build.
Sure.
Sure you are, Jeff, you pervert.
Right. But
look, really, I'm building. Look, Amazon.com.
Yeah, exactly. But I was watching the development of the internet through the 90s.
Okay.
And they were talking about obviously the how Microsoft blew up and how Apple was struggling at the time and how internet porn was becoming a thing. And how quickly it developed from Netscape as being the internet search engine to the development of Google to America Online. How all this just basically accumulated into a perfect storm to become the internet that we have today.
I won't lie. Those early days of porn, they got some of my money. Dude, this is so bad. I can't believe I'm admitting this, but whatever. What they used to do is they used to say that you could sign up for a subscription for a month or you could do like a 1-day subscription for like $3 or something for a 1-day subscription. So when I knew that the wife was not going to be home for like a full day,
that was your $3 afternoon.
Yeah, I would spend $3 and I would download as much of it as I could in like 5 hours.
Right.
Which really wasn't a lot back then because, my God, you click on, I can remember distinctly, I bought the pass, like literally as she was driving out of the driveway, so that I could maximize my time. And I was just in there and I was like, ooh, there's a picture of Alyssa Milano.
Right.
Click. And I'm clicking on it. But back then, it wasn't like now where it's like, it's down.
Yeah, it take 5 minutes to download a photo.
A photo would be like, and you would just about think that it had stalled, and all of a sudden it would click again, and you'd be like, come on, and your fucking dick would be getting half hard, and meanwhile you're up to like her nose.
Right, of course.
And then it gets passed to her shoulders, and you just can't wait to see her goddamn tits.
Right.
And then that's when it stalls. And it's like, oh, network error. You must reconnect.
Yeah.
Fuck! Yeah, but a 5-6 hour day back then of downloading porn might have got you 10 pictures.
Right.
It just didn't get you a lot back then, but it was still better. It was still a better experience than going to, the neighborhood gas station.
Right.
And buying high society or
right.
something. Because you could see, like for me, my first big porn thing was celebrity porn.
Sure.
Because like Playboy and shit like that. I mean, I was seeing that shit from when I was, 10 years old or whatever. I was hung out with older kids and we'd go to the woods and they had fucking Playboys that they stole from their dads or whatever. And so, that was always sort of common. But, so when the celebrity stuff started happening and you could see, you're watching fucking Who's the Boss and then you're fucking seeing Alyssa Milano naked on the beach. It's like, ooh, I got to see that.
Right.
And I that was really what was my gateway drug all the way into porn was celebrities. And holy shit, did I spend a lot of $3 at a time.
Now how did you hide that $3 charge?
Because I had my own bank account.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had a family bank account and I had like my own personal one because she was always kind of a pest about me fucking charging lunches and shit.
Yeah, I got
you.
So
I would just take like $20 a week and put it into my personal account that she didn't know existed.
Of course.
And then I would use that card, that debit card. It just would, the charges would only come to me at my P.O. box.
Well, there you go.
Dude, look, I had such a fucking game of all that kind of shit. If I did go, like, as I've said many times, I was a huge fucking fan of Pamela Anderson naked. And so whenever she would do a Playboy or something where she was naked in it, I would store it in my P.O. box, because I knew that was somewhere that she couldn't find it. I tried all the other stuff like people did in the old days, and she always busted me. Like, dude, I used to remember the big Kenwood speakers that you could buy?
Oh, yeah.
I would take the backs off of those and store magazines and shit
nice.
For a while to hide them. And she would always find that shit. But once I had a P.O. box, and I was like, well, fuck, I can just leave it in here, and the only one's going to see it's the mail people, and I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if they see a Playboy in there. I paid for the space.
Yeah.
So I would store my porn magazines in my P.O. box.
You use it as a personal locker.
It really was. It was like a safe deposit box.
Nice. Well, I didn't have to do anything like that, nefarious, but getting back to bank accounts, even, as I've talked about on the show before, I was married very young for just 3 years.
Right.
That's about all I could handle. And, even back in 1985, 86, my boss at the time, he said, dude, you got to get yourself a personal bank account.
Right.
She doesn't need to know about it. You put your own money in there. You do what you want with it. You can have like a joint account, for your bills and things like that. But,
right.
She's going to rob you blind.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to get your personal account, and she never needs to know about it.
Right.
And I did. I mean,
yeah.
and that was a big lesson. It's funny because I think about it now. So what was that? 80, 85, 95, mm-hmm. 2005, 34, 33, 34 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? I would have never lasted in a marriage ever.
No.
I mean, 34 years ago, I'm having to get my own account and basically have my separate shit just so this bitch doesn't get her hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, boy, I can't live like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, I can't speak for you, but for me, it really was not for, like, crazy, like, spending money. For me, it was like, I'd go to lunch with whoever from work, spend $8, and come home and just get fucking hammered. It's like, she'd be like, you spent $8.
Was she part Indian?
Huh?
Was she part Indian?
No. No, she actually is, I think. But she was all Scrooge. That's for damn sure.
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, I'd come home and she'd be like, you spent, I added it all up, because after a while I got rid of that account.
Of course.
Because it was too, I was too far along and I just was like, fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I would come home and she would get the bank statement at the end of the month and she would be like, you spent $71 this month on bullshit. And I was like, what are you talking? Look, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever the buffet place was that we used to eat lunch at work. Wherever. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I go to work every day. I don't deserve a lunch?
Yeah. You could pack. Yeah, could I? You could take leftovers from last night's dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a reason I didn't eat it last night. You ever think of that?
Maybe there's a reason there's leftovers.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason nobody wanted to finish off what you made.
Oh, my God.
It was such a fucking disaster.
Dude, we got to stop talking about this because I'm going to get in a mood, and then I don't want to do the show.
Well, neither of us have to answer to that kind of shit anymore. That's for sure.
Oh my God, I could never live like that. No way.
Not anymore. No fucking way. Dude, last night I blew about $240 or something on booze.
Yeah.
And in the old days, that would have come probably to a physical.
Of course.
Now it's just like, whatever, spent it.
Yeah.
I don't fuck. I don't even know what I spent, honestly, because I didn't keep receipts, and I just know I just kept flipping cards out. I have no idea what I spent last night. But yeah, that would never fly today or in the old days. In the old days, I'd have been being threatened with divorce. How dare you spend the family's money?
The family's money.
Shut up.
It's my money. God damn it. I go to work every day. It's my money.
Yeah, which other member of the family was fucking doing those 85 hours? Was it you? I didn't think so.
I busted my ass, so step off, bitch.
Yeah. How many hours did you work? Oh, 0? Forgot for a minute. That's right, though. You were home taking care of the kids that were all teenagers and in school.
Right.
That's right. You were very busy. Shut up.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad we have this show to air our grievances. I'm sure now I understand why people like us. Dude, you say stuff I think about all the time.
No, it's funny. I don't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat room was like, change the subject, please. My wife is yelling at me.
So good. So good.
I love it.
I do too. It's like, enjoy that. Will ya?
Yeah. Put on some headphones, dude.
I talked to somebody that's a friend of ours.
Okay.
And he called me up out of the blue this week.
Okay.
Somebody that you work with and I work with. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Okay. SK?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was telling me about his marital bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And how his significant other had some kind of a surgery, like a I don't know, like a knee surgery or something or other,
right?
To where she couldn't get up or get around, so he's basically waiting on her hand and foot.
Okay.
And the reason he called me is he was elated he was able to get out of the house to go pick up her prescription.
Dude, let's go hang out at CVS, man.
Yeah, well, he didn't say I want to meet up or anything. It was just like, I was able to finally get out of the house and get a break.
Dude, don't tell anybody, but I'll meet you at the Chipotle next to the CVS.
Exactly.
We can have 10 minutes that are just ours.
Right.
Just don't tell her. I'll tell her I was in line at CVS.
So when
Honey, your prescription's not ready yet. It's going to be another 45 minutes.
Right. So I made the comment to him. I said, dude, I could never live a married life. He says, believe me, I don't understand how I do it either.
Well, his wife better be careful. He has guns.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it was just like, oh, boy.
Yeah. No, dude, no going back to that life. That's for sure.
No.
I was talking about that last night to Kelly. I was like, I'm in the perfect spot. I was like, this works so. And I even said to her, I said, I hope you're feeling the same way I am. That this is working perfect.
Yeah. Have
fun. Go home. That's the perfect scenario. Have a lot of fun, but then go home.
Yep.
It's almost like it's like the same relationship you have with your relatives' kids. It's the perfect thing. Look, I love spending time with my brother's kids or whatever. But you know what I like best about it? When it's time to go. Okay, this has been fun playing video games with you or whatever, but gotta go.
Right.
See you. It's the same thing with the girls these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
Have a good time. We had a great time. I mean, dude, I had one of the most fun times I've had in a long time yesterday.
I would imagine.
All day. The Aldo Nova thing, and then the Dave Landau thing, and then we went karaokeing after and just drank our faces off and smoked some pot and just fucking had a great fucking time. And then I came home. And that is the capper on a perfect day.
There you go.
The coming home part. So good.
And it's quiet.
Yeah.
Where were you? Were you out with your loser friends?
And there wasn't any of that this morning. How come you're laying around all day? We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Go rake the leaves.
Are you going to stay in bed all day?
You can't just sit there and watch TV all day.
Why?
There's grass to cut. It's not going to cut itself. Yes, it is, because I pay somebody. Another thing that I wasn't allowed to do back in the day. Instead, I had to hear her bitch. I would offer every fucking year. I was like, let's just hire a landscaper. No, I'm going to cut the grass since you won't do it. Okay, then you cut the fucking grass. So every fucking week I had to hear, I'm going to cut the grass that you won't cut again. Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
Hope it's not too hot for you.
Right.
It's like, and what was the first thing that I did once she left? I fucking hired a landscaper.
There you go.
I've had a landscaper ever since. I let them cut the fucking grass. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But am I going to do it now just because you left? Fuck you.
Well, back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Between 90, it was like about 93 to 94, somewhere around there, 93 to 95, I think.
Right.
I was driving a truck. I was driving regional. And so I was out on the road Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And I'd rack up about 3,000 miles a week. And basically, I had a sleeper cab and, slept in the truck, 4 or 5 nights a week. And then I'd get home late Friday night. Well, because I was on the road, 5 days a week, I didn't have my own place.
Right.
Through the insistence of the girl that I was with. I went to get my own place. So what do you need your own place for? You're never home anyway. You could just stay here.
Right.
So I relented and did that. So I get home late on a Friday. I'm running my ass off, having broken sleep all week. You know, running from the East Coast to the Midwest and back and down to the South, and you know, just racking up the miles. And so Saturday rolls around, and I'm dead tired, man.
Right.
So you know, I'm sleeping. It's like 9:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stay in bed all day? I want to make the bed.
Right. Yeah, because God forbid that bed stays unmade till 11.
And she was one of these girls that had to have like 16 pillows on the bed.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, one of those. Did you ever see Along Came Polly?
No.
With Jennifer Aniston and what's his name? Comedian guy. His father was on. His father was George Costanza's father.
Ben Stiller?
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he had a wife who had all these pillows on the bed. Well, she was exactly the same way. Had all these pillows on the bed. I want to make the bed. It's
Okay.
like, yeah, I ran my ass off all week in a truck.
Yeah.
And I'm sleeping in until 9:30. And it's, are you going to stay in bed all day? I want to make the bed.
It's like, go fuck yourself. It's like, are you going to do housework all day? I've been out of work all week. How about sucking this dick?
Yeah,
It's not going to suck itself. It's certainly not sucking itself on the road.
right.
So do your job on Saturday too, honey. And it ain't putting pillows back on the bed, you whore.
So, needless to say, that was the last time I lived with anybody. That was the last time. That was, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I'm never doing it again. That's for damn
Nope.
sure.
Nope. I'll wake up when I want. I'll go to bed when I want. I'll leave when I want. I'll eat when I want. I'll just go do what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I know we've said it before. It's the best marriage still comes with more compromise than I'm willing to have.
Absolutely.
You know, look, I'm not trading built-in pussy for fucking cutting grass. It's not doing it. Or painting or fucking changing a pipe or any of that shit. You know, fuck that. Why would I want to do any of that kind of bullshit? You know, I'm much better to just say, I'll just pay somebody to fucking do it.
Exactly.
You know, and you know what? I don't have to listen to. Look, this will just tell you what a lazy fucking piece of shit I am sometimes. In my bathroom, I have one bathroom. The fucking sink, I need a new sink. The sink is just like, it's been here since the house was built in the 70s or whenever the house was built.
Right.
And it like rusted to the point that it was leaking, so I have to replace the sink.
Yeah.
But it's a size that doesn't
Exist
fit
anymore.
Yeah. So basically I have to replace the whole cabinet.
Right.
You know, the whole countertop or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to replace, you know, I mean, and it's going to be a few $1,000s, you know, or a cup, maybe $2,000 because you're going to have to tear it out and put it in. And, you know, I'm definitely not going to do it. And I'm sure not cutting holes in fucking wood to mount a fucking sink or whatever. That's not in my fucking purview, you know? So I just looking at it and it's like, all right, it's going to be like $2,000, say. I just fucking disconnected that son of a bitch, and it's been like 5 months. And I just go without.
Yeah.
Because, and if I had a wife here, you know that wouldn't happen.
Oh, of course. When are you going to fix this sink?
I'm in the bathroom again, and I can't brush my teeth. Shut up. It's not the only sink in the house, you dumb whore.
It's amazing how much we'll do without.
Oh, my God. Dude, I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like spending $2,000, nor do I feel like fucking pretending I'm a carpenter when I'm not. See, that would always be her thing with me, too, was that she was always annoyed that I didn't do that shit.
Right.
It's just not what I do. You know, I'm not a carpenter.
Yeah, it's not your skill set.
Yeah. And she'd be like, well, you could look it up. You could I'm not going to buy a fucking book and then fucking go buy a fucking piece of wood and then try to shape it with some, you know, every single video or thing, they have like regular equipment, and then you want me to do it with a fucking table saw, or a fucking handsaw or something. I'm not doing that shit.
That's what Angie's List is for.
Yeah. That's why I earn money, so that I don't have to do this kind of fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Fuck off, you dumb whore.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you about me. You've been to my place, and I keep the place clean and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just at the point where it's just like, you know what? I think I'm going to hire a housekeeper.
Dude, I can't imagine what you would do to need a housekeeper.
Well, I just have them come in and clean once a month. Do a really good cleaning once a month.
I mean, shit. I mean, dude, you don't have anybody in your house.
That's true, but it gets dusty, and it's just like, yeah, this place could probably use a really good vacuuming. I vacuum and stuff, but, I'll have them come in and clean windows and shit.
And it won't cost shit. Was that $50 a month?
I don't know what it is. They said, hey, free evaluation. We'll come in and evaluate. So it's like, you know what? I'm thinking maybe I'll have a housekeeper come in.
Yeah.
Once a month, just spruce the place up a little bit.
Just once a month, do a Google search of the local Kirby's, and they'll come in and vacuum your whole fucking house. As long as you're willing to tell them no on the end of it.
Right.
You did a great job, but I ain't buying it, so beat it.
Yeah.
After they fucking vacuum and shampoo your house.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, dude, fuck that shit. I'm with you, man. It's like, I'm at that point, because my house is turning into the fucking backdrop to the next season of Hoarders. Dude, you know what it's full up with now? Boxes. I got Amazon boxes upon Amazon boxes because I just forget to throw them away or tear them down or whatever.
Yeah, I got a garage full myself.
I've got to get, like, in theory, I have a kitchen table, but it's all like computer parts and shit now.
Right.
I think you know what? I'm writing it down. I'm putting a note in my notes right now to find me a housekeeper this week. I can afford. I mean, if it's $200 a month, I can afford that.
Right.
I can afford that. My house is small, so I can't imagine it'd be $200. Do you think it'd be $200 a month?
Nah.
Probably be like $100, right?
You just have them come in every other week.
Yeah.
Twice a month. A hundy every other week.
Yeah. Dig out those old fucking socks that are now like casts under my fucking bed. I'm not gonna lie, I stole that joke from Landau last night. He told the funniest fucking thing. He was talking about jerking off, and he said that his wife doing laundry sounded like she was washing 8 pairs of shoes. From cum-soaked socks.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
It was a funny fucking joke, man. Holy shit. He was good, man.
Sounds like it.
He was really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, dude. Well, we've been yapping for over an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Nice.
But I think that I can understand what maybe the fans, take away from the show is because I'm sure other people relate to this kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I think a good song to take us out of this segment, since we were talking about all porn and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll play some Van Halen, some dirty movies.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well, we're going to play a couple songs. We'll be back. We'll do some more fun stuff. So here it is. It's Van Halen exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. We have tons of friends that are musicians, and what they care about most is their gear. If you are a gearhead, then you need to be shopping at Amplified Parts. They have everything from amplifier parts to speakers to effects pedals and more, with some of the best prices out there today. Visit them online at amplifiedparts.com or give them a call at 480-296-0890 and let them fill all of your gear needs today. When your gear is important, only shop with the best, Amplified Parts.